money. Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown. Let's go. Mom, don't bring me sandwiches. No sandwiches, Mom. Yo, everybody do it. Keep Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are hanging in there. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast. Joey Shakes, what's happening? Mom.
Much. I'm chilling. I'm not doing too much, man. Just obviously some things to talk about today, and we got the schedule, and now we're gonna have this little bit of a wait time. Now this is the last hoorah of before training camp, and we're ready to go.
Last hoorah! What's going on, everybody? Ray Myers here, Leon's here, Malik, Dank Burrito Stuffer, Luke's here, Robert, Dev, George, Philly Wyatt, Philly and Oz, shout out to you. William, shout out to you. Talik, Big Sarge is here, and Brian. A lot of people who are in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. We already got 156 people in here. Mom, I don't want a sandwich. Sorry, but Rock the Artist here. So what is happening, man? It is that time. It is that time where, I don't know, the free agency's pretty much done. The draft is done. The schedule is done. We got post June 1st coming. And other than that, man, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, we've come a long way this off season, and we gotta, I want to see, we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll see the competition kind of unfold with all the, some of the depth at certain positions. Is Howie Roseman going to make another move at a certain position sooner or later? Or is he done officially? Probably not, but it's going to be great.
I think with four roster spots open, I don't expect him. I don't expect him to be done yet. You know what I mean? Dallas may be done. Giants are done. Those teams are all patting themselves on the back. But the Eagles keep working, man. That's what we do, you know? Mav says, hey, Phil, you better stream 6. I don't know if I'm streaming 6. Listen, if they get by Game 7, we'll talk. But if I stream Game 7 and they lose, then you know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to say that I jinxed them. So let's get by Game 7 and we'll talk. But they've got to come out like better time so I can like make it home in time. You know, it sucks.
What time's the game tonight?
I think it's tomorrow. The game's tomorrow.
Sunday. Yeah, I forgot Sunday.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting. Right.
I think the Sixers are going to win tomorrow, Luke. I think Joel Embiid goes for 42 points. But I will say this, and I have to say this, and I'm going to keep saying this for years and years. They would have two championships now if they didn't get rid of Jimmy Butler. I still have not. I have not whatchamacallit.
I get it.
I've not overcome that yet. I am not over that. Frank Watson, man, thank you so much for super chat, man. He says, can we time warp to preseason? I'm ready. I mean, I am totally ready for preseason, but we're still ways off. You know, we got to go through June, and we got to go through the Cowboys, the Cowboys fear period is what I call it. That's usually when they get arrested, pulled over. That's that time of year. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I think the Eagles are in a good position. What did you think? And I should probably bring this up. What did you think of their schedule? Sister Knott, what's going on, man?
Yeah,
let me pull the schedule up. Actually, I got it set up here, so we'll pull it up. All right. Oh, whoops. That ain't it.
Fucker, dude.
That ain't it.
Fuck you.
That's Joey's new line of clothes for women. Joey makes me shake merchandise. That's not what I was looking for.
You better delete that soon.
Where is the schedule? I didn't delete I didn't put the schedule up here.
On StreamYard?
Yeah. I have it here. All right, so Actually, can I do it like this? I can't change the layout, can I? No, won't let me. No, we don't want to cover Joey, so. but here's the schedule. I mean, what are your thoughts, man? Basically,
it's for the number one, for the number one hardest schedule. It's to me, it's not as bad as everyone thinks. I think the stretch that we have to really look out for is really after that bye week between KC, the Bills, San Fran, the Cow. I mean, it's a nice little stretch of 3 to 4 games that that's like this, the weakness of or the toughest time of the schedule so far. But even starting out, I think between the Patriots Vikings game, you have a short week there, so we're going to be really busy the first week. We'll have a game on Sunday at 4:30, and then we'll have a Thursday night football game. Now, there's only 3. There's no game in Germany. There's no game in London. There's only 3 1:00 games. What do you think about that?
That works out for me perfect, because usually I have to get up at like 7 in the morning, so I'm ready to go by 10 o'clock in the morning when they have the 1 o'clock games. So I kind of like that a little bit, because it means I get to sleep in, till like 8 or 9. That's all, but that's fine. I do think it's a weird schedule. I mean, you got Thursday night game week 2. That's kind of crazy to me. Week 2. And then that after the bye week, that stretch where you got Kansas City, Buffalo, the Niners, Dallas, Seattle, the Giants. I mean, those are all playoff teams,
It's a good bye week too. I mean, if you have the hardest schedule, you should have a really good. That's right dead in the middle, pretty much. So it's a good bye week too. So,
right, I think so. I think it is too. No doubt about it. Did they change? They changed the colors on these.
Yeah, they did.
I hate it. It's too light. It's like really light shade of blue.
Can't see it. No.
Dank Burrito, thank you for super chat. He goes, "What's your favorite burrito? Mine's pastor."
I don't know. If that's a joke. I'm not even sure.
I don't even know. I was gonna say the 5-layer at Taco Bell is fine.
Let me see what
but
that is.
I don't know what he means.
I'm gonna see if
it's real. I can only imagine.
Oh, it is. It's a real burrito.
It's called a pastor burrito.
Pastor burrito. Yeah.
What is on it? Holy water.
Meat, fresh pineapple, onion, cilantro, avocado, or guacamole.
That sounds good to me. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. That's my favorite too. Susan Knott says, good to have a bye before a tough stretch. Yeah, it is good. That's a tough stretch, but I mean, when I look at the schedule, man, I really think they could win 14 games. I really think they could win 14 games on this schedule. No, what were you gonna say?
No, I totally agree, because I think I called you the day after and we talked about it. And really we were mostly a 1-game difference, or almost the same pretty much, on the amount of games they could win this year. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the schedule reviews, because there's so much that could happen within a season with injuries. Is the coaching going to be good? Sean Desai, there's a lot of questions still with the coaching, but if everything goes, if we have a better game plan, defense this year, and our offense is to a really good start, I think they can get 14 or maybe more. You never know.
Yeah, I don't put much stock into the prediction reviews either. I think they're fun to do, just to do, but I don't.
For us, they're fun. Well, for us,
yeah, I think they're fun. I think they're fun to do, but I don't take them seriously. The ones that I do one at the end of preseason, that one I try to, that one I'm pretty serious about. Matt says, how are we opening up on the road when we get disrespected? Dude, we're open on the road, and it's crazy because you got, we're going to play 4 of the first 6 games are on the road. If you look at it, we only play 2 home games through the first 6 weeks. We play Minnesota and Washington. Everything else is on the road.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy, A
little bit.
Yeah. Let me see here. I really don't like that they changed the colors on this thing.
Yeah, you can barely see it.
You can't see it. Thank you for super chat. He goes, it's pronounced pass tour. It's marinated pork. Gotcha. That sounds good to me. Sometimes people slip in names. I have to read it like 50 times, but no, that sounds good to me. Gabriel David super chat. He goes, which rookie do you think will surprise us the most? Personally, I say Moro Ojomo. I can see him becoming a key rotational piece against the run. Wow. Okay. What about you? Who do you think? What rookie surprises you the most?
I think a lot of people are really down on Sidney Brown right now, and I think
Really?
you know what? I think more of it was his tackling. I mean, I know he was like third or fourth best in the conference in coverage, but they marked him as a red star player that exemplifies of him as a Philadelphia Eagle, what it means to be a Philadelphia Eagle. A lot of people don't like the Sidney Brown pick. A lot of people don't. I mean, I think he's going to do a lot better than we thought he's going to do. I think he's really going to turn out well. I think it's going to bring the safety position really good competition, and with Terrell Edmonds and Reed Blankenship's going to have some competition, no doubt. So
I thought it was a good pick. I mean,
yeah,
I think that I would say Tyler Steen is the guy that I think is going to surprise you. I think he's going to win up. I think he's going to win that right guard spot. I think I think they're going to keep Cam Jurgens at center, and he's going to take that spot. Funny thing about both those day 2 picks is I think both those guys have legitimate opportunities to win starting jobs.
That's true. I believe it.
Yeah, I do too. It'll be interesting. Now, just like to finish up the schedule though. So like, I know we say it's kind of ridiculous. What would you think? What did you have them when you did your little what you call it?
What, just a review in general?
Yeah, like what do you think record wise? What do you think?
I had him at 4. I had him at 14 wins. Last year I had him.
Last
year I had him at 13. This year I have him at 14.
I think I had him at 12 last year. I can't remember, but I think 14. I think the Eagles' window is between, I would say, 12 and 15 games. I think that's their window, somewhere around there. But I think I think it's supposed to be a tough schedule, but none of those teams scare me at all, really. I mean, when you're doing those things, I know somebody got mad about me saying that we would lose to Kansas City, but it's like, who am I supposed to say they're going to lose to? Any other team in there is not that good, or not that they're not good, but I think we're better than everybody. But I don't think they're going 17-0 because that just doesn't happen. So who am I supposed to pick that they're going to lose to? You
got to throw a game in there. You got to.
Yeah, I think Kansas City would be the most likely. But I think we could beat them. The funny thing about the schedule is like what we're looking at and saying, oh, this stretch is really hard. A lot of times by the time the season gets there, it's like, oh, this game isn't as bad as we thought. This game isn't as bad as we thought.
I think we were the same. I think we were different on the KC game. I think. Well, I had to check first to see, like, we had the bye week 10 or whatever. So we had the bye week. So I was figuring, okay, well, I had the Eagles losing that game if the Eagles had a bye week and KC didn't have a bye week and they just kept playing. Because they both have a bye week. And this is just an opinion. This isn't like I think they could beat a lot of these teams, but I think that'll be a tough matchup. I think it'll be a nice revenge game. The Eagles will go in the Arrowhead and get a win. I think they win that game, but who knows? As long as the field's not slippery, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. Well,
I think we'll be all
that's
right.
a good point. That's a good point. I mean, the thing about it is you always win games that you shouldn't, and then you lose games that you shouldn't. It goes back and forth. You just don't know. I just don't think they're going 17-0. That's unfortunately.
Yes, of course.
Jonathan Cook, thank you for super chat. He goes, Joey's women clothing line should be Joey makes your wife shake. Go Birds. Well, apparently that's the problem in that neck of the woods. I think Joey's going to be on like Dr. Phil or something.
Yeah,
very
can't
soon.
help myself.
So look for it. He can't help. See, he's starting to admit it now. Tortiville says, I think Miami might give us problems. Slay and Bradbury are good, but they don't have the speed to handle Hill and Waddle. Yeah, that's a tough game. I chose. I took the Eagles because it's a home game. It's a Sunday night football home game. So that's why I took the Eagles in that game. I had them losing the 2 games. I had them losing to Kansas City, and then I had them losing like a heartbreaker to Buffalo, and then the last game of the year to the Giants when it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I had Buffalo, I had Miami, and I had a game at the end of the year because of obviously if we get first seed and they bench players or just because of a loss of not having enough guys on the field or something like that. Yeah, the Miami one is going to be a big story too between Tua and versus Jalen Hurts, and that's going to be a big story going into that game too. I like I said, like I had that as a loss, but I had to put a loss somewhere down the line before the bye week. So I mean, that's the game I picked.
Yeah.
The
thing about the NFC as a whole, the conference is the conference is not as good as it was a year ago. So.
Yeah.
You don't have no Rodgers in the conference, no Brady in the conference. I don't know what to expect from like Stafford, and dude, the 49ers, I'm sorry, I don't think they have a quarterback. So I think the Eagles are in a really good position,
Yeah. Agreed.
It's gonna be very interesting. Frank Watson says, and thank you for super chat. He goes, this team is better than last year, hands down. Desai will win games. That bastard coward Gannon lost for us. So what were your thoughts? And thank you for your super chat. What were your thoughts on the Desai?
From what we
press conference.
From what we heard, gather. Like I mean, you look at a guy and he's talking, and like I felt like I really believed what he was saying, and they hire the whole hiring process, attention to detail to a defense, getting pressure on quarterbacks mentally and physically. It sucks because of last year, because when Jordan Davis went down, Howie got Sue and got Linval, and it was like, okay, here, now you have no excuse, Gannon. Now you have to use these players. I'm giving you more than what you need right now to make this defense successful. And I feel like they didn't need so much depth last year, but because these players were literally bailing Gannon out, they were bailing him out in so many games, not due to his coaching, but due to the the type of players we had and the good players we had on this team and how deep it was last year. This team was historically a great defense last year, historically, and probably could have been so much better last year. So now at the side we actually have a defensive mind in the building right now, and I'm excited. Look, talk is talk at the end of the day, but I want to see these guys on the field. But I feel like I believe a lot of what he's saying. He's not, it doesn't make me feel nervous, but I'm interested to see with the tough schedule now. We're about to see what Sean Desai is all about.
Yeah, so. We're going to know. We're going to know, no doubt. Romeo Talent, thank you for super chat. He goes, have to give it up to you boys. I love your videos and how y'all hold it down for us Philly fans. Love the Howie apology video. I just can't stop laughing. Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it.
Romeo, we appreciate that, man. That means a lot to us. It does, because it's just humbling.
It makes it seem like the season's a long season, and it seems like it goes really quick because we could blink our eyes and we're already in the playoffs, or it goes by fast. Right. But the off season, it's a process. There's a lot of work that goes into the off season between free agency and doing, all the draft stuff. And then obviously, me and Philly covering the draft for live streams for those 3 days. It's a lot of work. And, we appreciate all the people that jumped into those streams, and whether you're there for 2 minutes a day to all 3 days, whatever the case may be, we really do appreciate it from everybody.
Great. No, it has been great. And when you're in the football season, like you get into a pattern all season, you don't know minute to minute what's going to happen. So in a lot of ways, it actually gets crazier.
Yeah.
Romeo says, unfortunately, we have a huge target on us this year, a lot of pressure, and history isn't on our side. That is true. Historically, teams that lose the Super Bowl usually struggle that next year. But we are the Eagles. I have faith the new coordinators will make a decent showing under Nick. Yeah. I do too. I think a lot of it has to do with obviously you have to have things like health and stuff, but I just think if Jalen Hurts plays the way he played last year and is the guy and continues to be, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. I feel like I really liked what Sean Desai said, because he went back and he said that we are going to, he brought back and he brought up the identity of the Eagles and the defense and the history of the defense. When you look at the Eagles and even if you're watching TV, you should be able to look and you should be able to know that's Philadelphia Eagles defense. That fits the city. It fits the history. And that, to me, that's a big deal. Like, now we're talking about, the way I take it is we're going to put a lot more pressure on these teams and these quarterbacks that we did under Gannon. Things are going to be different. Now, somebody said to me, and I don't know, somebody said that Gannon actually blitzed more than Desai. I don't know if that's true or not. I thought Desai blitzed. I thought it was said that he blitzed 20% of the time when he was a defensive coordinator in Chicago. But I could be wrong. But I think that he, I really liked that he said that. That meant a lot to me, dude. And I felt a lot more comfortable with him after that, as where Gannon was always so dismissive, oh, we're going to do this and we'll just adjust. And, but yeah, he can.
Yeah, I get it.
So, I mean, we will see, Sean Desai had me watching 91 Eagles highlights earlier. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the defense we had last year, yeah, we had 70 sacks. But I'm telling you, I think they could have had 84, 85 sacks. Like I think they could have had so much more if they put more pressure on quarter, if they blitz more, if they were a little more aggressive, and if Desai is more aggressive. Not only is he aggressive, but he also talked about disguising, right? Because a lot of times one of the things with Gannon was very vanilla. He would just line up and play, whatever happened. And you saw that really take shape when he played rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. Zach Wilson goes and stunk all year, and he looks like $1 million when he plays the Eagles, right? Because he didn't try to confuse the rookie quarterbacks. He didn't try to give them things they haven't seen. When you had Jim Johnson never lost to a quarterback. If you were a quarterback and you were 2 years in the league or less, you didn't beat Jim Johnson defense because he would do so much to confuse you. Gannon didn't do that. And to hear Desai talk about giving different looks and disguising things is a big deal to me. It just is,
No, it's true. I mean, you look at, even going into this year, I mean, you went into a free agency of losing so many players and then Gannon really departing and then really the Eagles getting hurt by illegal tampering from Gannon and all the outside noise of that the Eagles like reprimanded him and he was giddy after the game and he seemed like he didn't care and really, really fucking pissed me off. Excuse my language, but it really did. To see that a defensive coordinator just, I guess, kind of just while he was just getting beat, he just gave up the rest of the game. That's what it seemed like. That second half was just, I don't care what he did the rest of the year. When it led up to that game, I mean, his, changing, we always had issues with him in the first half, and then like the second half would get better in some games throughout the year. Mm-hmm. But you put your foot on somebody's neck, and when you have them, you let them go and you give them some life. You give another team more life. And that's what he did all year. And people were telling us, don't worry about it. We're winning. And every week we were saying Gannon is just, we're going to face that team that's going to put a number on us. And that's what happened,
Yeah, it's true. Bonzology, my man. He says Gannon being gone is the only real improvement. I think you're just upset that they still have Quez Dropkins, as you call him, on the team. I think the Eagles have improved in certain ways. Like oh yeah, you're not. It's going to be hard to replace Javon Hargrave's numbers, statistic wise. But in the long run, I think you've improved the position. Where I think they've improved, and I think it's a big deal. Is I think they improved the running back spot. I think they're much improved at the running back spot. I think they have a legitimate dual threat running back. And I think that their offense is actually better than it was a year ago. I think it's more potent. And if that offense is carrying you, scoring 30-something points a game, and with the schedule being the way it is, I think by the end of the year, you'll start to see guys like Jalen Carter start to contribute and start to get, adjusted to the league. So I think the Eagles are going to be better than they were a year ago.
Yeah, I think better coach.
Offensively,
I really had no problem with the Eagles last year, except for maybe they would use Jalen Hurts a little bit too much on run designs, or they didn't run Miles Sanders enough in the first half of like 5 or 6 games. We barely even had like 40, sometimes even not even 30, 20 yards. Sometimes it was really bad. So I think even with Brian Johnson, he's going to expand the playbook a little bit. He's got a lot to work with. I mean, he talked about the running back room as well and the different skill sets. And I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do with, especially with the distribution of the football in the running game and keeping these guys healthy all year. Keep all your running backs healthy. I mean, even with Rashad Penny, I mean, I would use him as a finisher. I would tire out defenses with him. I mean, you know what I mean?
You're going to use him as a finisher.
DeAndre Swift as well with, could cut
finish them.
could come. Oh my God, could cut on a dime. With that, his elite vision that he has, and just wait till he gets to the second level. These running backs are gonna do wonders. Now, DeAndre Swift has never been with a mobile quarterback before. It's since high school he hasn't been, and so this is gonna be it's gonna be dangerous.
I love Swift. I just think he's going to be really good. I'm very excited. I never thought of all the running, and this always happens. You always talk about this guy's available, that guy's available, and then Howie always gets the guy you're not even thinking is going to swing, become available. It's always crazy. Justin asks, when do you guys plan on putting out the roster projection? I think probably during training camp, like when we get close to the season, just too much can happen. Right. ACP Baller, my man, he goes, yo, Philly, what's good, my guy? I'm so very excited about this team. Sky's the limit for this team. All I want is at least 3 out of the 5 Super Bowls for our Birds for these next 5 years. At least 2. Yeah, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I'm excited about it too. I do think that stretch at the end of the year is going to be tough, though. That is a tough stretch. But I think the Eagles can start off really good. Like, I think they should be like 8-0, 7-1, something like that. Thank Burrito. They were super chat. He goes, remember the empty feeling after the Super Bowl loss. Thanks for reminding us. How do you think we feel like when you take our wives, Joey? That's a great question, Joey. Taking all these people's wives.
Like I have all the power. Makes me feel better about.
You notice Joey's just saying his desk's rumbling. You can see his microphone's doing this. So I don't know what's going on under that table. Oh
man.
Sanders had 1,300 yards. You guys are delusional. They won't be better. I think DeAndre Swift's better than Miles Sanders. I just do. And you were a giant fan, Bazalji, of Rashad Penny. So, I mean, if you think Penny's as good as you think he is, and then we add Swift, I mean, we should have a better running back group than we did a year ago.
I think both. I think Penny and Swift are better than Miles Sanders when healthy. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
So
Jade says, still can't believe we got Carter and Nolan Smith. I know that's crazy. The whole Nolan. So how much do you think Nolan Smith will actually play? Do you think he'll actually play a lot? Do you think? I mean, what do you think his role is going to be? Or are we going to see him more like Nakobe Dean sitting on the bench? Maybe special teams.
No, they need him. I would say he'd be probably in the second rotation. I would probably guess it would probably be Reddick and Graham, and then probably have Sweat and Nolan Smith most likely. It's really going to start up front with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, really, because those two pieces, especially Jordan Davis going to his second year, really needs to work out. Like, this is the year where we need to see massive improvement. And for Jalen Carter, I'm not expecting a double-digit sack season. I think he could have 5 to 7 sacks for the year, maybe more. Who knows? You know what I mean? So with those defensive ends in general, Nolan Smith really has to work out, because realistically, you could lose Graham after this year, you could lose Barnett after this year, and by next year, after Hassan Reddick only has 1 more year left on his contract, so you can lose 3 defensive ends next 2 years, and Smith really needs to be a big piece. For us. I think he will be. I think they're going to use him multiple ways. I think he'll do well. I'm not really worried about it too much, but I think Smith can have I think he can have a 4 to 6 sack year, something like that. I think he'll be very disruptive. I think he will.
I think Nolan Smith will break Corey Simon's defensive tackle sack record. Now, I don't know, because I heard different things. Initially, I heard and read that it was Corey Simon had the rookie sack record. Then somebody said to me that it was actually Reggie. But I thought what I read with Reggie was because he was a professional, and he played in the USFL before he came to NFL, that he technically wasn't a rookie. But he had 13 sacks his first year. So,
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think Jalen Carter, 9 sacks this year. Nine sacks. I'm going out there.
I'm good with that.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Joe says, Philly, my buddy's brother met Pat Ryan after he was in the league for a couple years, and Ryan said Jim Johnson defense was by far the toughest defense he ever faced. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because the thing with Jim Johnson back in the days is he had such elaborate blitzes and disguises. If you were a young player and you didn't see enough, like you haven't played enough games, you weren't going to recognize everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So, it's crazy. Brandon says, Philly likely will start slow this year. 2 new coordinators with the system. Hargraves is gone. Carter is going to replace him right away. Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, it's going to take time to adjust to Hargrave. I think early on, you're going to have some things, you're going to have Jordan Davis probably going to get a lot more playing time, right? And then you're going to have, young rookie guys playing. But, I mean, I think the offense is going to be so dynamic that even if you give up points, even if your defense isn't where it needs to be early on in the year, I think your offense is going to be so good and be able to carry them. But by the time you get to the hard part of the schedule, the defense will start to adjust. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you have the right. I think you have some good opponents. I think the Patriots, even the first game, is a pretty good test too, because that team is a rebuilding team right now. Not a lot of great pieces, but I think they have some nice starter games. The first couple of weeks, just to get this defense going, to see where they're at. And then obviously when it gets to later on, when they face a lot harder teams, then the test will be on the side, and we'll see for ourselves.
Yeah, Vengeance David Super Chat goes, I think Patrick Queen would make our front 7 elite. That would be a hell of a pickup. I don't think Howie's done by any stretch of the imagination. Howie has shown us in the past that he likes to maneuver after June. He also likes to get guys and players during training camp, during preseason, and bring them in. So you're never done, pause, with Howie Roseman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's done it all.
No, and thank you for Super Chat. Lonely says, both Swift and Penny will be playing behind the best offensive line they ever had. Absolutely. And I think Swift, I think Swift has the ceiling of a top 5 back. I think he could be that good. He's missed time before and it didn't pan out in Detroit, but I think coming to Philly, I think with that line, I think he could be a top 5 running back. I think he has the higher upside than Miles, and I like Miles a lot, but really, Swift's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, it depends how they distribute the ball too. I'm actually wondering. I mean, we know that DeAndre Swift is going to be the focal point probably of the running back core, but to see how they're going to use Penny and how they use Gainwell, and obviously Scott will probably be a pure special teamer, or he might get into some games. Scott will probably won't get as much unless he plays the Giants, but that's pretty much about it. Well, we'll see. We'll see how they use these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. What I want to see them especially from DeAndre Swift, I want to see them using him in the pass game. I think you need to use him in the passing game more. I want to see that element of the Eagles' offense be used more. I want to see a running back that is utilized out of the backfield. When they blitz, Hurts. How many times? I can't tell you how many times last year watching a live stream saying, man, they need to do a running back. If they could just run a screen to the running back, there's nothing there. And, I think with DeAndre Swift, I think that's the one element he's going to give you. For whatever reason, they didn't like to use Miles Sanders in the passing game. I thought he could. I mean, he showed his rookie year. He was good out of the backfield. He had that one good year as a receiver, and they didn't really try. And then with Gainwell, they didn't really try either. I think with Swift, he gives you that threat,
And even the Super Bowl, he was a non-factor. Like, he was a non-factor in the Super Bowl. Our run game was a non-factor in that game. Hurts was the only rusher that was a factor. Other than that, we got nothing from these running backs. Not even from Miles Sanders. So,
yeah. So I think you should do a meet and greet Eagles game of your choice. Just a thought. Yeah, I want to do one of those. You know, I got to get up there, and I will. One of these days, maybe this year, it'll happen. I'm going to look at the schedule. Maybe I'll get Joey meet me up there, and we'll go there. Michael says, my daughter was the Rookie of the Year cheerleader for the 2017 Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, that's very cool.
That's cool.
It's despicable how they treat those ladies. Really? They treat them bad, huh?
You ever seen like
wow,
the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show where they literally, if they have like a
I've never watched
ounce of fat on them, like, yeah, it's really bad. Like, they're treated horribly. Like, I don't know if it's with every team, but it's pretty crazy.
Really, they were more worried about the fat on the cheerleaders than the fat on Zeke Elliott. That don't mean. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know they treat him bad.
It's like a boot camp. It's like literally a boot camp. It's crazy. Like, no
really?
Yeah.
I never. So the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders had a reality show, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, on making keep staying in shape, and like, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yet we can't get Zack Snyder to do a second Justice League. What the hell is going on? Frank Wild today for Super Chat goes, I can't wait for the Eagles to crush those soft, delicate 40 whiners. They should nickname Levi Stadium the Winery. I like that, the Winery. I think I'm going to use that. It is the Winery. Dude, they are still crying. Like, did you hear the coach, Shanahan?
Oh, yeah.
Saying, oh, I'm so happy that we're not playing Philadelphia till, later in the season. Like, dude, I just never seen a team that was such babies. My gosh.
Why? But here's the thing. Why wouldn't you want to face the Eagles first game? Your team's going to be, you don't know what your team's going to look like down the stretch. Like, you're going to be healthy week one. You're more likely to be healthy week one than you are down the stretch. Why wouldn't you want to face the Eagles first game?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Baltaldi says, I'm hopeful for the future, but I'm thinking all these rookies are going to make up for Pro Bowlers is just stupid. No, they're not all going to make up for them. No, not right away. In the long run, yes. I agree. You're not going to have Jalen Carter's not going to come in and have 11 sacks like Javon Hargrave. It doesn't work that way. However, I think with another year in the system for the offense, and me personally, I think the improvements at the running back position makes your offense better. I think with that, with the way the schedule is, with the fact that the conference is weaker, I think that they'll be fine. I think they'll be able to get through.
Yeah. True.
I mean, how are you going to stop this team from scoring? Like, seriously. Like how are you going to stop them? You got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith another year. Devontae Smith's going his third year, okay? He's going to go off this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've still got the best offensive line in football. You have Hurts with another year of experience, okay? And then I think that the running backs are better. I think they're deeper at that position. So I don't think anybody's going to stop them offensively, So whatever you have to have your young guys adjust defensively on the field, I think it's made up by the offense. That's just my opinion.
No, I believe it. I totally agree.
I agree. And you may lose Hargrave, but who knows? I mean, who knows what another year with Hassan Reddick does, or another year, some people think he's overrated, like Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick has 3 double-digit sack years on 3 different teams. Everybody kept changing but him.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, come on.
We heard that news. We heard that news out there.
I just think that it's crazy. And I think Josh Sweat, he could have another big year, and we can't forget about Derek Barnett. He could have. No, I'm just kidding. Forget that.
I was like, oh, really?
Forget that. Philly, Joey, you guys doing meet and greet? I'll bring the meatballs. All right.
It would be an Italian fiesta.
Oh,
it
God,
definitely would.
Yes, it would. Gabriel Marie. Sorry, I'm not gonna say what I was thinking because I don't want to get everybody up behind their wives. Gabriel Marie Davis super chat. Heads up, you missed one of my super chats earlier. I apologize for that.
I was looking and I don't see it.
Let me see. The thing is they changed the color of the chat, so it's really light, like a light blue.
Why?
And I can't see. You can't see it when the chat's going. You said 9:30.
Yeah, that was the last one I seen from Gabriel, but I don't see any other ones.
Let me find it. See if I can find it.
Which rookie do you think will surprise us the most? I think we did that one.
It's not showing up. It's not showing up. Oh, here it is.
You got it?
Here it is. Yeah, I did miss it. I'm sorry, Gabriel. I apologize. Oh no, I did read this one.
Yeah.
Which rookie do you think surprised us the most? Personally, I'd say Moro Ojomo. I can see him becoming a key rotational piece against the run. Thank you for the super chat. I said I thought Tyler Steen would be the surprise rookie, and I think Joey said Sidney Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but thank you so much. Appreciate it. But I like Penny and Swift better than Sanders, but they will likely won't match Sanders' output less. So you don't think both those guys together will equal?
What output are you looking for? Over 1,000-yard back? I mean, they might distribute the ball so well that all these guys are going to be successful. So I don't care about having a 1K back if everybody's running the ball well.
I was also thinking like in terms of the passing game. I think that Swift is really going to give you that dimension that, I mean, and listen, they've got to take advantage of it, but he's one of the better receiving running backs in the league. So, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think they should have better year than Sanders did. But we'll see, Wheels, they were super chat. I think Howie should have signed Mike Hunt over Penny. Mike Hunt runs through guys. Mike Hunt is a bull.
Oh boy.
They always get me on that, man. Let's see. Sayamalo is being dismissed out of hand for Jurgens, a rookie. Well, yeah, I mean, that is a loss. I agree, but you got to trust Stoutland in that situation, don't you? I mean, ain't that what we're supposed to say? We got the best offensive line coach in the National Football League. They're paying this guy tremendous amount of money. If there's one coach to take a guy and get him ready to play a position, I got to think it's Stoutland. No,
it's good. Yeah, I mean, you weren't going to resign Samalo anyway, but I don't know why he was signed so late either. Like the guy was in the Super Bowl. I don't know why he was signed so late to Pittsburgh. That was like a really late free agency signing for Pittsburgh. I don't know why he wasn't one of the top guards to get the most money, but
yeah, I don't know.
That's just me. But yeah, I think they know what I know. Jeff Stoutland knows what he's doing. I mean, there's a lot to go with. I mean, we don't know. Jurgens might be in the mix, so you never know. You never know.
Yeah. JK said, who voted no to Dallas still stinking? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that poll. I had a poll. The poll was, does Dallas still stink? 92% of the people said yes, they do. They definitely do.
They have the fourth. I think in the league, they have the fourth best schedule. I think they're tied with the fourth.
Who?
Dallas. Fourth.
They got the third toughest. But you know what it is? Yeah, them and the Giants are tied for the third toughest and somebody else. But the thing is it's really ranked high because you're playing division. You're playing the Giants are a playoff team. Dallas is a playoff team. So that's 4 games right there. And they're playing the Eagles 2 games and then, each other. So I think because of the division having 3 playoff, it's making all those teams seem like they have a tougher strength of schedule, right. GI Zoe Sports Race at 500. The Howie apology was way too early. I said 3 good drafts.
How is that too early?
I guess if the draft doesn't turn out,
I guess.
Mark Johnson says 500. You're crazy. Thank you. I appreciate. I don't know what I said, but I appreciate that. I take when somebody calls me crazy, I take it as a compliment. Look at Coles Cowboys. Hurts will throw for 18. How come you always say stuff you don't even believe yourself?
That's what he does, dude. He's more of a Twitter guy than he is a content creator anymore. So he likes to talk a lot on Twitter.
Yeah, you're a Twitter guy, huh?
He's a Twitter guy.
That Twitter stuff. Twitter.
Getting a rise out of Eagles fans every day. That's his job.
All right, this is an interesting question. Hey, Philly and Joey, what blockbuster trade or signing would you like to see, and who's an elite returner?
Blockbuster? I don't think they make a blockbuster trade. I don't think they're into giving somebody a highest paid contract, if that's what you mean by blockbuster trade.
Like like a Giants. Is there a trade out there that you think that would be like, oh my God, if the Eagles just could get this one player? I don't really know who's, at this point, I don't know who's still available that could get moved. I guess like Patrick Queen or Isaiah Simmons, if you want to add a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could go there. And I think, that Patterson from Atlanta, if we could get him in to do returns, that would be pretty cool. I would love to have an elite returner.
Somebody, I don't care who it is, just give Covey some competition. I mean, I don't even like Boston Scott to kick returns either, but
I would take Boston Scott before anybody else. But crash test Covey, man. We got to see what he's going to do. True. Rakoya, I think I said that. I hope I said that right. But thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Fuzz from Australia says, great day doing a barbecue while watching your podcast. Although I did burn a steak while I was listening, it still looks and smells better than the Cowboys. Pound Dallas still stinks. Thank you very much. Yeah, burning a steak, that sucks when you burn steak. You got to cook steak so it's perfect. I totally agree with you, man. But yes, thank you so much, man, from Australia. All the way out. You ever been to Australia, Joey? You've been there?
Never.
You ever been there? I've never been there either. But one day I'll go, hopefully. System of the Knot says 500. I guess the Falcons are signing. Yeah, so did you hear about that?
No.
He had his workout. I think he got a workout with the Falcons, the Umbrella Man.
He still has a job. That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? And Rakoya, thank you so much again for that super chat. We appreciate it. Let's see. Logan says Mark Holmes to talk about the Eagles 500. Yeah, Mark Holmes does every other video is Cowboys. I mean, it's the Eagles. Every other. It's funny because I do like a couple videos about Dallas, and Cowboy fans are like, all you ever talk about is Dallas, and I'm like, dude, I hadn't talked about them all season. I waited until after the draft, and then. But if you look at Mark Holmes, it's like every video is a Philadelphia Eagle video. Every video. They are so scared of the Eagles. It's not even funny.
I believe it.
King George says, what did I miss? How long have you been streaming? We've been streaming 47 minutes. You didn't really miss that much. We're just kind of recapping what went on this past week and just kind of, just talking about the schedule and stuff. So you didn't really miss much, I mean, the next shoe to drop, could be the next move that could actually happen is Dalvin Cook. It looks like he's not going to be back with Minnesota, which actually helps us week 2. But Minnesota, they put out a promotional. Let me see if I can find it. They put out a promotional tweet, I guess, and in the tweet, they did not include Dalvin Cook. They put their other running back, but they didn't put Cook. I'm going to send it, and I'm going to show you guys. But the reports are, and the last few days is that he's gone, that they're going to cut him June 1st if they can't trade him. Now, the Eagles, obviously, we don't need Dalvin Cook. We don't need a running back.
No.
I think we're okay. But the question is a team like Dallas go after him? Because I think that would be a significant move. If the Cowboys were, let's say, to acquire him, I think they would increase. I think they would definitely increase their chances of making a competitive division. Because I don't think it's competitive. I think the Eagles are going to run away with it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But this is the tweet. I'm gonna pull it up. So it looks like Dalvin Cook is gone. And I tell you what, if I'm Buffalo, I am trading for him.
Oh yeah.
But this was Adam Patrick with this. The Vikings would probably include Dalvin Cook and not Alexander Madison if their social media graphics, if he was going to be their running back one next year. He's not in there. Madison's in there, but not Cook. So that tells you right there he's gone, dude.
I mean, maybe, but maybe they want to add the new receiver they have, because they have what Addison now. Did they draft? They drafted who'd they draft wide receiver wise? Isn't that Addison?
No, yeah. Did they draft Addison? Was that
yeah?
Addison?
I think they drafted Addison.
Yeah, but why keep your running back off?
I don't know.
That's wild.
I mean, who's going to take? I mean, he's what, like a $16 million cap hit? I mean, he's a high.
See, they got Alexander Madison there, the running back.
He's good.
So
he's good enough.
But you don't have Dalvin Cook there, and he's your number one. So Cook, what I'm saying is Cook is gone. He's not going to be back with Minnesota, which is going to help us week 2. But the question is where does he go? That I'm sure a team. I think Buffalo. If I'm Buffalo, like Buffalo to me is the perfect example. Like when you're that close to winning a Super Bowl, like when you're right there, you've got to take that extra step. Like, did you see the thing where they were talking to Zach Ertz? Ertz was, I guess was at the Phillies game or something. They were talking to him, and he was saying he almost ended up in Buffalo, but Buffalo didn't want to pull the trigger at the end. Like, when you're on the verge of winning, you've got to pull the trigger. I mean, we did this back in the early 2000s. We were 4 NFC championship games. We needed a wide receiver. We would not go out and make the extra move. And we were right there until we got T.O., and then we got to the Super Bowl. I think Buffalo is that team in that position. They need to pony up and go and get the guy they need to get him over the top. I think Dallas, if they were to add, let's say, a Dalvin Cook, I think it would make their offense way more dynamic. And
I mean, look at
that's what they need.
Look at after the playoff game too. Like Stephon Diggs was like so pissed. I mean, he was pointing fingers at everybody. Like, and that's the worst thing. Like after losing, I mean, you lose a playoff game, but shifting the blame on somebody, like shifting the blame on Allen, was kind of crazy. I mean, that team has got the roster, but they just can't get over that hump. They just can't get over it, unfortunately.
Yep. Sean Johnson, I have Brian Houston, Brian Houston, Marcus Williams, and Queen on my Madden. On my Eagles defense is unreal. That's cool. That's cool. Queen is interesting because they did say Baltimore is shopping him. So it's going to be.
Zeke hasn't signed with the team yet. I think realistically he might go back to the Cowboys. He might.
I know, but if you're the Cowboys, if I'm the Cowboys, and I could get Dalvin Cook over Zeke, I'm doing it. And because I've got to compete with the Eagles, like I gotta, dude. This is like it should be like an arms race in the end. Like if I'm Dallas, I'm viewing this as an arms race with the Eagles. I got to get more talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball, to compete with.
Yeah,
them.
It's the first year for Dallas where they actually made a couple good moves. But I mean, I think obviously the Mazi Smith pick, I think it was a good move for them. But maybe a little bit of an overreach. But I still think he's a good player. But they're not going to spend a lot of money. They're not. But
we have Philly Shakes 572, and look at that thumbnail, dude. I want that picture. You gotta send a look at this.
What? Who's that on the body of?
That's me and you. It says 500 is a legend of Joey Real. Also, Mark has a man crush on you. 500. I know he does. I know. He's my number one. He's my number one donator in my OnlyFans account. 357 people watching. Only 132 like WFT. Show the love. That like button doesn't cost. There you go. Hit that like button. Absolutely. Oh, we only got 131 likes. 300. Yeah, get them likes up. We got to have at least 300 likes. We got 500 people in the chat between both channels. If you guys haven't hit that like, make sure you guys subscribe. Click the link in the description if you're on my channel and go sub up Joey Shakes. Make sure you guys do that. Man, these guys are fighting amongst each other, I think. Young Boy says, 500 Joey, what's up? Guys need your opinion. Personally, with all the moves that we made all season, I feel coaching shouldn't take the legs off of Hurts. Don't try to make him a pocket passer. Agree. Yeah, I don't think you need to make him a pocket passer. I don't think you need to take that element of his game away. I don't want to do that. But I do think on some levels you have to cut back a little bit, only because I don't want to wear him out or get him hurt. I want him to still be able to use his legs. But, like, for example, like, the quarterback sneaks, right, where they just want to get, like, a half a yard. Like, I think those kind of things where, players are purposely falling on him, rolling over, like, I don't want him to get hurt. Like, something like that, like, I think you could get away from, and you can use Penny or Swift. They're both big enough backs. They should be able to get those short yardage, spots.
Oh, they should definitely do that, no doubt. And for red zone, too, for both, yeah.
Yeah, Let's see here. If any Chiefs fans doesn't realize they got really lucky the Super Bowl, they're crazy. Listen, that whole Super Bowl was going to come down to who had the ball last, with a decent amount of time. If they don't call a penalty there and you kick a field goal and they're up 3, I think the Eagles are winning that game. I think they're going down the field and scoring a touchdown. It was like who had the ball last,
Yeah, I can agree with everything, but like, what did you feel about? I mean, we probably talked about it, but what did you feel of like the holding call on Bradbury?
I thought that was a call that you don't make there. You don't make that call. I mean, if you're going to make that call, we could literally sit down and watch a game, and we probably could find that same kind of hold.
There's a million games that look like that, and they never call
it. Every play, and they never call it.
Here's a good thing too, because we faced Juju Smith-Schuster the first game of the season. It's going to be his Juju is not going to have his team bailing him out. There's so many receivers that are so successful with Mahomes, it's sickening. And how many of those receivers left since he was drafted and haven't done nothing with another team? Yeah, probably count a lot of guys.
Well, I mean, and that's where Gannon really just screwed up, because like they came out and they made adjustments in that second half, and he had no idea. He had no idea what to do. That's Juju Smith-Schuster touchdown. Nobody was even on him. Like they were so confused as to what was going on, and I blame Gannon for that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the linebackers were horrible. You're putting Marcus Epps on Travis Kelce on I mean, it's just it was just really disgusting. I couldn't even.
I said it all week. I would have put Bradbury on Kelce. I really would have. At times, I would have, especially down in the red zone. I would have in the red zone, because I think he's big enough where he could at least covered him, and stuff. But because Kelce caught that early touchdown down the red zone, and
they got beat on the same play 2 times. I mean, and then like everything that we worried about that was going to happen, the 2 things were, I know we could put so much on Jalen Hurts to scoop and score fumble. I know that, but Hurts came back and scored. But the 2 things that really pissed me off, probably 3 things, was the run game, the obvious, getting beat on the same play 2 times, and special teams bit us in the ass. Like,
it bit us in the ass.
It bit us in the ass. It's just crazy.
It did. I mean, you have to get a stop. You should be able to get 1 stop. The Hurts fumble, yeah, that sucked, but we still were what? We still had a 10-point lead at halftime. Mm-hmm. We were still up 10, but we couldn't get a stop the rest of the game. I don't think that team didn't get. I just think that Gannon got outcoached, and the rumor is that the Eagles were pissed off because they felt he checked out all week.
Even Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, when after the Super Bowl was over, the tweet he put out about Gannon didn't put us in the right, or didn't put us in the right, but he went on Twitter and said it. Like, I totally believe it.
Yep, totally believe exactly. It. Mad Titan David Super Chat, he goes, "Hey boys, have you heard anything about the Eagles signing huge ass?" No, No, but they're looking apparently. Oh boy, that's a good one. I give him that one. That's a pretty good one. Torterville David Super Chat goes, the Super Bowl came down to who had Gannon. Unfortunately, that was us. Oh my gosh, it's so true. What's amazing about that is like how he wouldn't even let him on the plane, right? He said you're gonna interview whatever, blah blah blah, and then he gets the job, and then he sits there and he does that press conference where he's like, yeah, every week they wanted to ask when I was gonna get fired. When I was gonna fired. And then people went back and nobody ever asked him anything like that, dude. The dude was flat out just making things up. You know, I can't. I hate the face, dude. I hate the face.
The hugging and the draft, like over and
oh
over.
My gosh!
Oh my god, hugging the same bald-headed dude.
I hope we put 90 points up against him. Dang, David Super Chat goes, I remember there was a no-call hold by Bradbury earlier in that game. It was a makeup call. Could have been. But see, that's the thing. It's like, I understand, like, if you call it one way from the beginning to the end, then it is what it is. But when they don't call anything or they are calling everything, and then all of a sudden they just change it up, I hate that. Because players figure out kind of what you can get away with, what you can't get away with in the course of the game. And then to just change it up, I think is ridiculous. I thought that was a weak call to make. You don't make that call in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, dude. You just don't.
Yeah,
you know, it was just, and I don't know why they would want to do it, because you would have had a 3-point game with a minute and 38 seconds left. I mean, that's high drama in the Super Bowl, and they took it away from us. You know, IMJ says, I think the Hurts fumble talk is really irrelevant because Miles Sanders fumbled too, and it's like everyone forgets about that. Yeah, well, the reason is because that became a touchdown. It was a touchdown, but and it was a mistake. But they were up 10 at halftime.
Yeah, you're still up. Yeah,
so it's just crazy. Jay says, Gannon the Clown was probably watching your streams, Philly. I never had anything nice to say about him. No, I know. It's probably what it was, dude. I tried, dude. I tried to like him, dude. I tried last year so hard. Pause. And then when the whole 49, like I wanted to, but dude, dude gets my nerves, man.
Yeah, it's too inconsistent. Like, it's just, the defense was too inconsistent. Like, they, even like with Hassan Reddick, even had such a fantastic year. He could have had even a monster better year than he had, putting him in coverage all those times earlier in the season, while they weren't, rushing him on the edge too much. You know what I mean? Like, there's these, like even the Washington game, like the first Washington game really the second Washington game pissed me off, because like they moved Slay back like 8 to 10 yards, and you're facing Terry McLaurin, right? And he's going 100% on his route, and you have to react as a corner to him going 100%. Like, how do you defend a wide receiver just standing still? Like, you're standing still 8 yards from Terry McLaurin, and you have to react from the break of his route when you're not even at 100% speed. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Robert says, linebackers lost the Super Bowl. We were beat in the middle of the field throughout the game. It was brutal. Coverage was crap. Can the Eagles possibly trade and sign for Patrick Queen? They could. I mean, they could technically go and get Patrick Queen if they wanted to. They could afford it. I think they're $14 million in cap space. He's got 1 year left on the deal. They could do it. I mean, he is an AFC player. I would love something like that. And I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman. I don't believe Howie's done, because you have 4 roster spots still open. What are your thoughts about, and I don't mean to change up, but what are your thoughts on the punter situation? Like, we obviously need to upgrade our punter. Sippo's stunk, right? They go out and they sign Legatron, right?
Yeah.
But would you bring in that Ariza kid, or do you bring in another punter? Because I think you need one.
I mean, it seems like they like the guy that's in the building already. Like, I didn't really listen to the Michael Clay press conference as much. I kind of skipped through it a little bit, but he did talk about the new punter that was in the building, and said they were really fascinated by him. And kid has a really good leg on him. And I don't know. Another one. I mean, they bring in another punter, sure, but I mean that guy. They
Well,
could
that Matt
definitely.
Ariza, that kid's cleared of all wrongdoing, I believe, and he was
Yeah, no,
not
he is.
guilty.
Yeah, he
So
is.
he should get his life back,
Mm,
and that kid is supposedly a talent. I mean, why not?
yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
mind it.
not like he like they cleared him. He was not involved in that whole thing. So why not?
Yeah, I don't know because, well, we talk about players that have off the field issues, and we talk about these things, and people don't see like the details of it. They just see like, well, he did something wrong, but he really didn't do something wrong, and I don't know.
I
Same
mean,
thing
but
as
from
like the Jalen
what I'm
Carter
saying,
stuff going on.
but like the Jalen Carter thing, like he's getting sued by the player's father who died. But I mean, I don't understand what they were even suing him for because he wasn't even in the same car. He wasn't driving the
Look,
same car.
at the end of the day, and every time I made even before he was drafted, every time I made a video on Jalen Carter, people get so angry. He killed, he didn't have, he was driving a separate car. Should he have not been racing? Yeah, he should have probably not been doing that. There's no doubt about it. But his hands were on that steering wheel of that car. He didn't feed the driver over 2 times the amount of alcohol being over the limit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there, I mean, did Jalen Carr do wrong a little bit? Sure, but did he cause it? No. I mean, he didn't. He didn't drive the other car. That's why I don't get about this whole thing. Some of these fans are like,
No, I think there's a lot of confusion. I think a lot of people think that he was involved in the actual accident part, and he wasn't, because a couple people I talked about, and they're like, oh, he wasn't in the car. Like they didn't even realize he was in another car they were racing. But as far as like Ariza goes, like I'm telling, I think they cleared him of like he wasn't there.
no.
So like
Of course, the lawsuit. Of course, there's a lawsuit now because Jalen Carter just got paid. So of course they're,
yeah.
gets money.
Yeah,
And
and I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand all the details of. From the outside looking in, I don't understand how he's liable for when he wasn't even in the same car. I could understand suing University of Georgia Athletics because the girl worked there and stuff, but I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
If the guy was going to be a huge distraction for this team, they wouldn't have drafted him. They obviously just didn't just draft him to draft him. They did their homework on him. They must have made phone calls. They must have hired PIs. Who knows what they have did this whole offseason if they had a lot of interest in drafting Carter. Okay, so they know more than we do. We're just reading stuff.
Well,
like
yeah,
that's all it is.
And as far as him being overweight at the combine, I don't think that's because he's like lazy or anything. I think that was a direct result of everything he's going through with the accident, then going to combine, having to get arrested. Like, I think that's what it was. And obviously, I think Howie, they had to do their homework on it, So I don't feel like the Eagles are not that type of team like Dallas. They're not going to, draft a guy who is always getting in trouble. They don't do that. They do their homework. So they had to feel pretty comfortable with the situation.
Yeah, they had to have been. I mean, they wouldn't have. You don't move up for a guy. I mean, I think even seeing Jalen Carter and how like emotional he was when he got drafted, and that totally changed his life. And I think now with his mentor and Jordan Davis is on the team, the Kobe Dean, and even Nolan Smith now. I mean, I think this is going to change his life. It's going to change his life around.
I hope so. Twitterville says Zettner needs to be given every chance to win that job. He also can kick. Case G. Yeah, he's also a field goal kicker too, which is interesting. I think that would be great if you could ever get a kicker who can do both. That would save you a roster spot. I'm all for it. Although I we got like Elliott. Frank Watts with David Super J goes, Jackson Mahomes finally out of the pictures. Oh, he got in trouble. Yeah. Robert Quinn was a bust. He was. Gannon couldn't stop a bullet. Was Baltimore. No, Gannon Gannon was purely outclassed there,
Yeah.
And I'm trying to catch up to these. Gabriel David Super Chat, he goes, I see the tough 5-game stretch after the bye as a good tune-up for being ready to go in the playoffs. Red hot and giving Gannon a big slap on the way. Yeah, we got to play Arizona. Do we play them late in the season?
The
right?
second to last was that the second to last game?
We play them December 31st. Yeah, so that'll be the second to last game.
That guy's gonna get booed.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be
destroyed.
booing him. I want to lead the booing. You know. Ruben Frank had a dumb question, Jalen. The Ruben Frank situation, like to me, I have no problem with the media asking the questions. That's their job. What I didn't like was that he made a judgment on the kid and said and automatically and made a statement that it was like a point of fact that the kid didn't have any remorse. Like, how could you possibly know that? I didn't like that he judged the kid. That's what bothered me. They're going to ask questions, you know.
But why would you ask it after he was drafted? Like you did this right after he was drafted. Like not even the next day. Like you want to ask the question, ask it on a regular whatever the case may be. But you asked it the night he was drafted. Like you literally just trying to like break the kid down. Like I don't know.
To go in and say, well, he didn't show any remorse. He wasn't remorseful. Like I don't know how you could say that. Like that.
He doesn't want to talk about crazy. That. I mean,
right.
Come on now.
Gonzalez says 500. The NFL took away our beastly pass rush with that joke of a field. Oh my gosh, that was such an inside job with that field. It didn't take away that the Chiefs never had the NFL. Oh, I agree. That was definitely suspect. Dude.
Yeah, the guy that's the old piece of garbage that was in charge of the field. They literally 2 days before the game, in that week, 2 days, I would say 2 days before the game, what I read is that they literally put a brand new field. They did a brand new field, and I've never heard of this before. And the guy says we overwatered the field.
Yeah, but it was weird. But the only people falling down were the Eagle players. Dude. Yeah, that was really suspect, dude.
They couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes. Like it really pissed me off. Like during that whole game, I was like, this is just. I saw Casey guys slipping a little bit, but
I think it was one where Reddick was coming around, and Mahomes. It was Mahomes' blindside, and I was like thinking to myself, oh my God, he's going to crush Mahomes here, and the ball's going to get loose, and he slipped. He slips. It's like crazy.
Yeah, Phil, he even said after the game, he's like, that's the worst field I ever played on. And it wasn't even like an excuse, but it's like you saw them, you saw multiple guys slipping. It wasn't just one guy. It was so they had to change their pass rush. He's like, I can't bend that much around the edge because as soon as I take that full bend, I'm going to slip. So they couldn't play at 100% full strength. And you slip, you're out of the play. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. Which King says, what kind of drugs were Mahomes and Pacheco on? They were fine at halftime. I know. Mahomes was hurt. Like, he could not walk. He gets tackled at the end of the half, and he slams the ground, and he gets up. He could barely walk. 45 minutes later, boom, he's out there. He's fine. They gave him something heavy. I don't know what they would get. Like, I don't know what the stuff's called, but whatever it was, holy crap, it worked because he was fine after that, dude. And there was no way. He looked like he was in so much pain at that first half. Like, I was like, is this guy even going to finish the game? You know?
He looked totally normal second half. He looked perfectly fine.
Yeah. It wasn't it was probably some pain med. Like some
white powder substance.
Man.
Yeah, you're like
yeah, because he was like he couldn't walk. He was like couldn't walk, and then you look at half. He's like he's nodding, and I get ready to start saying, "Hey, he's not." Yeah, I think his brother got some, and his brother was off at the bars doing God knows whatever.
Yeah, dude, like that game, like I know we lost the game, but like there's so much outside, like that pass rush couldn't get a pass rush. It was just, it really annoyed me. Throughout the game, I was like, why are these guys slipping so much? Like, what's up with this field? Like, why? Like, do you water a turf field? Like, that's what I don't get. Like do you water that much a turf field? Like, I don't know.
You do if you want to stop the Eagles' pass rush. You do if you want to stop their pass rush. Niners says they gave them 2 perks. Listen, they'd have to inject that perks because that stuff hit him so fast. Like, I mean, the guy couldn't even walk off the field. And then the next thing, you know, he's back out there, through one incompletion? He
There's
took
something
oxy to go to hydrogen. Like, it was like it had to be like an injection. I don't know if you can inject that stuff into your bloodstream, but I don't know, man. Whatever he took, he didn't look like he was in pain at all.
No.
You know? So I
thought
no idea.
I thought the opposite you did. I thought he faked it. I thought he looked like he got injured, so the Eagles would be like, oh man, and like maybe be cautious, you know, maybe not go as 100% against him, and then he came out. I don't know. I thought the opposite.
Well, he was like limping. I thought they were gonna have to, like, he barely got off the field, and he was on the bench, and he's like yelling and screaming, like, you know, like in pain. And I'm going, this guy may not finish the game. And he comes back, you know, because the halftime's so long that they could give you medicine and you got time for it to kick in.
Here's why I think it was fake too, because I feel like that last playoff game they played before they went to the Super Bowl, when they showed on Mic'd Up, they showed the video of him going to the sideline. Andy Reid wasn't putting him back in the game, and he was arguing with him not to bench him throughout, you know, the rest of the game. But this Super Bowl, there was no video released on him, like his injury or nothing. Nothing came out on his injury. That's why it makes it so suspect of it being fake.
Yeah, they Brian says they diluted or something like that. It's called. No, that's a real stuff. I had that stuff with my knee surgery.
Yeah.
And if that's what they gave him, an injection, oh, forget about it, dude. I was trying to order cheesesteaks and hoagies from the hospital when they gave me that stuff. I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I don't know. I felt fine. So if that's what they gave him, but man, whatever they gave, like, I thought they weren't allowed to give players like those strong medicines anymore between, like, you know, during a game. I thought they weren't allowed to do that anymore.
That rule will never change. Maybe it will in the future, but I don't. Is it kind of like cheating the natural body process of injecting yourself with something in a game? I mean, is it really playing the game to full effect? Like, is it really?
I mean, it makes a big difference when you don't feel you're in pain. You could do more damage though too, because, you know, the pain is the signal to your body that something's wrong. When you shut that off, that's not good. But all I know is that guy could not barely get off the field. And he came out and then he threw one completion the whole second half. That's absurd. It was absurd. No, like one completion the whole half. That's insane. You know, I think Gannon took some of the drugs too, because his coaching adjustments were like he was high on drugs, dude.
Something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting, but. Anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean, anything else we really gotta say?
I think we're pretty much good. I mean, you know, there's really, I mean, so now the schedule's out. I mean, there's really nothing much else going to happen for a bit unless a move happens, or, I mean, that's really going to be it until training camp, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely, but we will be pumping out the videos anyways. So
yeah, it don't matter.
Look for that. Yeah, it'll be fun. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Also, want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so shout out to you guys. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, my wife, and hopefully we'll make some Mother's Day babies tonight. You know, but. Yeah. It is what it is, but happy Mother's Day to everybody. Hope you guys enjoy the day, and I guess that's pretty much it. You know, hit that like, make sure you subscribe on the way out. Click the link description. So Up Joey, if you're in my channel, and we will be back tomorrow. I'm sure
we'll be back,
and then with that, we will let the Cowboys take us out as always, because they stink. 92% of the people said that they still stink, and we concur. Let me see here. All right, guys. With that said, we are going to let you go. You guys have a great night. Peace.
Peace.
And we will see you later.
Peace out.
Bye.
Time for one more play. We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
gotta
me.
be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What are you doing?
running from
What are you doing?
To get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more
He
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us.
But, you know, this is just
The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed
it
us.
is, man.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way.